Greetings, esteemed viewers. Welcome back to Paper Mario. Do I know what I'm doing this part? I don't know. You don't know. None of us knows. Let's keep going.
Is this a different flower or the same flower?
There are 3 flowers. This is the 3rd.
Are they all under Crystal Tree? What the?
No, just her. Just her.
Did he just shit out? Or she, apparently?
No, it came from the sky.
It fell from the tree.
It's a berry. She just fucking ovulated.
The tree's not part of her anatomy.
They said before, the one when you start beating up the tree, they were like, hey, I'm connected to that. Stop doing it.
It's like, okay.
No, their roots are intertwined because she really wants to fuck the tree.
Okay, but now she just focused really hard and shat out a berry. You cannot tell me.
No.
They're not connected.
Yeah, she just tickled the tree roots a little bit.
Yes, that's how that works.
Ariel, that's like if you were holding, I don't know, a Whopper from Burger King, and I just shook you really hard and you dropped the Whopper.
Okay, but only if the Whopper I was holding was also something that was completely larger than me.
And grew out of Ariel's body.
Yes!
Okay, we can rig this.
This is more of like a conjoined twin situation.
Oh my god. Whatever, man.
Or
So,
like,
like,
a fucking
do you
chimera,
conjoin-
but one head is missing.
So, like, conjoined twins always make me sad.
Conjoined twins has to be fucking terrible. Like, if you aren't separated
I'm sorry
at
if there's
birth.
any conjoined twins watching this.
No, like, yeah, seriously, like, no offense, but
pretty
that
bad.
has to be, like, super, that has to, like, seriously suck. Because you get, like, no time to yourself, like, ever. Because you have your twin attached to you. Always.
How do you jerk off?
I think you just have to get used to it.
Like,
There
hey
are
man,
only
close
2
your eyes
ways
and cover
this
your ear.
Yeah, but what if you're one of the ones where you only have, like, one set of arms between the two of you, because you were that
Oh
conjoined?
no!
Because you
Well, no, 'cause
can't
then-
be that conjoined.
Well, what if your heads are connected too? Then you only have one ear.
Well, if your heads are connected, you generally don't survive very long. They usually have to separate you at birth, and one may or may not make it.
Ariel, why did you laugh when you told me that?
I don't know. I also don't remember why I know this. It's one of those things I just learned at some point.
God,
For some reason.
took a turn.
I mean, yeah, that happens when I'm reminiscing about the wikis I went too deep in.
I thought you were saying you're reminiscing about
Maybe.
conjoined twin
I can't
research.
even remember. Why do I know
Those
this?
were the days?
I mean, it may have been after I was reading about the quote-unquote freaks from old carnivals. Because, you know, that's where a lot of conjoined twins had come from. And just in general, the fact with the psychological effect of twins who were conjoined and not separated at birth. But yeah, I'm pretty sure if they're conjoined at the head, there's a pretty good chance that only one brain developed. Could be wrong, but I think that's a thing.
I mean, that sounds intuitive.
Yeah. Oh my god, there's this thing happening. There's this thing that I don't understand why everyone's okay with it. There is a cat born with 2 faces. Which, in and of itself, is not that weird. It's basically a conjoined situation. But, usually they die right away. Or very soon after birth, because they have a mouth that doesn't necessarily work right. Or rather, 2 mouths. And 3 eyes. 1 eye doesn't work, and whatnot. And this family was keeping the kitten alive. And planning on letting it grow all the way, even though it could barely walk or function. It could eat, sort of. But it's fucking, like, it's not meant to be this way. Like, I don't want to be mean, but the kitten deserves better. And then there's the puppy with a tail out of its head.
Wait, hold it, back up.
However, the tail does not have muscles. It's literally just like cartilage. So it's just this fucking limp-ass tail on its head. Which, they're like, nah, we're gonna leave it. I'm like, it's not supposed to be there. And everyone in the comments is just like, oh, it's so cute. I'm like, am I the only person who loves animals but also realizes that this is not right?
I mean, like, does the tail, like, impact its quality of life?
I was gonna say, at least for the tail one, what the fuck are you doing?
Oh, I'm supposed to walk around this tree.
Oh.
So this guy notices me, senpai, so he can give me something I don't need.
So the tail one I'm a little more fine with because it's not impacting the dog at all, but the fucking two-faced cat, like...
Yeah, that one is a little ambiguous.
That one, no. Everyone's like, oh, he's so cute. And it's like, no. Like, I feel bad for the poor thing. It can't, like, see out. One, it can't see out of the third conjoined eye. Because, you know, it's technically two eyes. And it's just smushed together and barely functions. And this poor thing, like, can't move. Well, it can move, sort of, but it almost looks like cat cerebral palsy. Where, like, you can't move properly at all.
Yeah.
Like, muscle degenerative shit. Which is why these kittens normally die pretty quick. And I'm just like, why? What? Like, okay, yes, like, letting it die seems mean, but I don't know if letting it live is less mean.
These are the great fucking questions.
That one is a tough one. That's a moral and ethics debate right there.
That is a conundrum.
Yeah.
Like, there is no easy answer to that.
Like,
I exist.
Did you miss my conversation about the two-faced cat?
Yes.
Okay, well, it's terrifying. Okay.
Good, because it fucking betrayed Ariel and she's still mad about it.
I'm not I'm not mad. I'm not mad about it. I'm very bothered by it.
I'm kidding. I was doing wordplay.
It was a segue from the conjoined thing because it was essentially a conjoined situation because this cat was born with two faces and three eyes because the eye in the middle would have been two eyes if it had been born as two separate cats. And this happens sometimes. It's not that unusual. I mean, it's not common, but it's not...
I was about to say...
It's not...
It's a little unusual.
It's common, but it's not unheard of. And usually kittens like this don't live very long. On account of, you know, a lot of times the mouth doesn't... Or rather, the two mouths don't work, or one works and the other doesn't, and then the cat can't actually eat. Because the brain also doesn't really know what to do about it. And this particular family found him and decided they were going to keep him and try to keep him alive as long as possible. And I'm just... as I was just talking with Brian, that just seems like such an ethical dilemma right there.
Yeah, I'd probably put it to sleep.
Like, putting it to sleep seems super mean. But letting it live with its conjoined third eye and not being able to walk properly, it's just... it's a tough one. And everyone in the comments was just talking about how cute it is. It's like, am I suddenly the animal-loving monster? Because this is technically...
Have I gone too far?
In its most literal term, this is actually an abomination.
You should comment that.
No. People commenting on animal things can get vicious.
I know. That's why I want you to do it.
I don't want to deal with it.
Just make an alternate account.
Make an alt account just to comment that. I haven't even seen
Brian, that's an
that
amazing
post in a while.
daisy.
Yeah, I know. I'm gonna try. I'm not gonna succeed, but I'm gonna try.
Oh. Do you actually lose?
Probably.
I've never beaten one of these things. I don't lose. It ran away.
Well, no, you missed.
Oh.
No. It's still gonna be there once I'm done with this.
I've beaten Amazing Daisies in Thousand Year Door.
Well, do they not run?
It depends. Depends on how they're feeling. They'll either attack you for 20 damage or run.
I think it's the same here, but this one, I tried to put it to sleep, I think? Yeah, and it doesn't work.
No, it's immune.
Well, I tried to do that so it wouldn't run! And there's no way, realistically, I can do.
Well, obviously it's running away from the stinky fish.
Obviously.
What do you get for being an Amazing Daisy?
A lot of star points.
I could have used those.
And when I say a lot, I mean a lot.
I mean, it sounds like an afterward, but I've never done it, not once. Like,
What a failure.
I can figure it out. They just fucking run away. I mean, I know I'm a failure, but I'd like to prove it first.
Now I feel bad. I mean, the only reason I'm able to beat them is because I buffed the shit out of Mario with badges. That and you can power up your partners too.
Yeah.
Unlike this terrible game.
Oh my god.
Absolute terrible, awful, complete failure of a game. That is a sound effect.
Yes, it was.
It's one of the best ones in the game.
You didn't even jump, you just kind of floated up to it.
Can we talk about how much it
American
bugs
Lemonade.
me when you could just be absorbed into a bubble without, like, the integrity of the bubble being infected?
Wait, say that again?
How in games you could just enter a bubble without the integrity of the bubble being compromised or popping or,
Oh, yeah.
you know, anything that makes sense. Have you guys blown a bubble before? Because they're not super stable.
How dare you fucking assume I have blown anything.
Bow chicka wow wow.
Bow chicka honk honk.
You didn't have a bubble wand even? For 4th of July?
Ariel,
Have you been to a
I
wedding?
hate this country.
I'm ashamed to be an American!
I mean, I don't blame you. But what about when you were a kid and you had no choice?
Hearing you say no choice just reminds me of Mega Man X4.
You're gonna kill the sun?
I mean, I would look at it.
I mean, I kind of...
What is with the design of this thing? It's so
that a mustache?
bad. It is. Brian cracked the code. You literally blown my fucking mind. I don't even care about this edit. What you heard today, folks, was genuine shock.
Alright, I'm gonna be honest. I didn't hear it. Last I heard is Mega Man, and then is that the sun? And you're like, yeah, this is gonna kill it.
Were you shocked because of the mustache comment?
Yes!
Ariel, I said I thought the sun had a mustache, and Austin freaked out.
Oh.
I didn't know. I never noticed.
That explains why I was just confused. I was just laughing because you were slowly burning to death.
Oh.
But I also wanted the fish to just turn into a pile of ash.
You know, I tried to figure out how to do that, but I didn't have enough time.
You should have just had, like, a piece of, like, cooked salmon slowly fade in on top.
Oh my god, I should have done that. Man, why don't I consult you more often?
To avoid talking to me.
Oh yeah, okay, I remember.
Meanwhile, the all-seeing
Lester has a shit ton of HP for a partner. He does not seem like he should be this strong.
Well, none of the partners have HP. They're invincible. So
I
technically,
know
he's the weakest one.
But he becomes invincible once he joins your team.
Yeah, but that's through the power of friendship.
Oh, yes.
Bum, bum, bum.
I love how the cloud is exhausted.
Okay. So, to roll things back, to make things a perfect circle.
Oh, God.
Look, you know who's conjoined twins.
Oh, I mean, actually, I'm not sure what's worse. If they're conjoined twins or parasitic entities.
But who's the parasite?
I mean, I would think
America.
Oh my god.
I would think not the cloud, since the cloud has to carry the other one around.
Yeah, no, I tend to agree with that.
But they're so happy about it.
Most parasites, generally speaking, control to benefit themselves at the detriment of the host. Like the fucking fungus, you know, you know, the one you find papers on when you're fighting the regenerator rows, and it's the ones that infect the ants' brains so that they just climb up.
So,
Yes.
So what you're saying is my supervisor is a parasite and I need to purge him.
No,
Does
no,
your
that's not what we're
parasite
saying. Delete the video. Delete it.
Does your manager or supervisor infect the brains of ants and make them go into places where they're going to be eaten by birds? Because I feel like, no, that's not what I was saying.
Well, Ariel, you can't prove he doesn't.
I think I can. I would need a PI, though.
You can't prove he's not actually Alexia Ashford.
I think I can. I need a PI, though.
Ariel, that's a pretty bold claim. Do you think you could back it up? Like,
I need a PI. And also money to pay said PI. Brian, you missed.
Ariel, we can't all have perfect insurance, okay?
I mean, no, I just need, need Sheriff Douglas. What's his name? From Heavy Rain. Except not him, because he was the killer.
He was my favorite character until that happened.
I know!
Way to ruin the game.
But I also just kind of like...
Brian, you have another chance. It's back.
Yeah, I'm just not gonna bother.
Wow.
I know that it's either gonna run away or I'm gonna die. I have no faith. And I shouldn't. I have no reason to have faith.
No ambition to succeed.
Correct.
Unless it involves an antenna.
Then I have some ambition, but I'm just gonna give up.
So, Brian, when are you going to control a bunch of ants?
How did you know?
Well, it was either that or grow a conjoined twin, so...
Oh my god. I don't know.
That you use that as an antenna.
Oh,
It's just an arm coming out of your head. And it's constantly pointing.
I mean, how do we know that dog's extra tail isn't just a monopole?
We'll never know. I'll never know. Maybe you just cut out for me.
Alright, every time we make one of those jokes, I think we should edit the clip out.
But we should. We should. Except that
But
takes a
we
lot
won't.
of effort.
Yeah, I'm probably not going to. Then we're gonna get reported, and it's been real, guys. It's been a wild ride. But YouTube has spoken.
YouTube has spoken? About what did it speak?
This channel is shit and shouldn't exist.
I mean, okay, I guess. If the
I've known
demand
it's been
it.
shit since the beginning.
The only thing worthwhile was our Shadow playthrough.
Rude.
I mean, am I wrong, though?
I feel like yes.
I'd like to think SA2 was worthwhile, but I know it isn't.
Wait, which one?
Sonic Adventure 2?
Oh, I thought you said Destiny 2, and I was like, that never happened.
I can't play Destiny 2. That would require a real console.
That would also require you to waste money on Destiny 2.
Oh, I can steal it.
Well, now you can't.
Yeah,
oh,
from
shit.
what store?
Oh no!
God.
I've been Nixoned! I knew I shouldn't have recorded myself ever.
Oh no, I was also referring to coronavirus.
Yeah.
Oh.
Unless you just want to cosplay as Nemesis and then go infect people.
Okay.
I do not wish.
Which, by the way, Ariel, Nemesis in the RE3 remake goes around infecting people with head parasites.
I mean, that seems slightly new.
They also completely cut out the clock tower section of the game.
That might have been for the best. I don't know, because I haven't played 3 myself.
I mean, the clock tower is like the most iconic part of the game, but it's also completely inconsequential.
I mean, my impression, as somebody who's played other Resident Evils but hasn't done 3 yet, my impression was that it's like the part of 2 where you're running away from Mr. X, except the whole game.
Alright, so the remake.
What the fuck, Brian?
Why? We were having a conversation. We didn't think the part was just gonna end like that, but it did.
Brian. And then the next part starts like 30 seconds like before. Damn it, Brian. Damn it.
The audience,
fuck
what do
you.
you think? Like, comment, and subscribe.
No, it was doing so good for like the entire week.